to be sitting here joined by Republican Senator John Boozman. Always good to have you in the studio.
Well, it's always good to be here. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, and welcome back home to Arkansas. I know you've been busy there in Washington.
We have been busy. It's good to be in Arkansas around a lot of friendly Arkansas faces.
There you go.
It's great to be, especially with this weather.
Yeah, exactly. I know you must have brought it with you. Well, let's quickly get here to the matter at hand. Let's talk about the contraception controversy, and I'm just going to read through this so that our viewers can follow along with what's happened. The White House originally mandated that all organizations, including religious ones, cover the cost of contraception for women. Then the White House changed that, amended it to say that insurance companies have to cover the birth control and not the religious organizations. Well, your thoughts on that?
Well, a couple things. I think this is not about freedom of worship. It's about freedom of religion. When you worship on Sunday, it doesn't end there. It's how you live your life. And so the Catholic Church has been very clear about this. This is not something that came up yesterday. This has been a practice for centuries.
For a long time, yeah.
So a long, long time. So it puts them really in a bind, and they just don't feel like good faith and good conscience, and this is a conscious issue, can do that. The idea that you know, the insurance company is going to pay for it, you know, companies, people pay for these things. Companies don't pay. Somebody has to pay.
You think, is it okay for the insurance company to pay? And I ask you this question because just to the other side of this are the people who are employed by religious organizations, be it hospitals and others, who are not necessarily Catholic. But if they worked somewhere else, they would have this provided for them through their insurance company or through the company. What do you say?
Well, again, the church has been very clear on this, and it's not like there's not other places that you can get, you know, contraception. Mm-hmm. And then again, you're not only talking about contraception, you're talking about abortive medicines, you know, mm-hmm. that the church is very clear on.
Okay.
So
okay.
I sympathize with the church.
You're on the side of the church.
The church has come back, very much so. The church has come back and said, no,
okay.
the compromise isn't acceptable. And so, you know, it is a matter of religious conscience.
Okay.
And
okay. I'll move on here because we have limited time. Congress passed a bill extending the payroll tax cuts for the rest of the year. A lot of people rejoicing over that. Your thoughts?
Well, I'm concerned. You know, I'm glad that we've got more money in people's pocket. I didn't like, and I actually didn't vote for it, in the sense it comes out of the Social Security Trust Fund. And so, you know, you can't have a program. People write me all the time. They say, John, please protect Social Security. And I'll write them back and I'll say, I understand how important the program is and I will protect it. But this comes directly out of the trust fund with no ability to repay it. So that's a real problem.
Today, the president proposed lowering the corporate tax rate from 35% to 28%. As you know, Republicans are asking for 25%. Do you think 28% is a good enough compromise?
Well, I'm really excited about the president coming forward with a plan. And there's going to be a lot of discussion, and we're going to have to see, you know, but the idea that we're talking about real tax reform, making the code simpler, you know, making it fair, that's very encouraging. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I'll be working with the president and his folks, you know, to try and hammer out something that you know, is acceptable. Okay.
We have 90 seconds, I'm being told. Facebook fans, we always talk to our Facebook fans, and we like to hear from them. Several of them have asked about the National Defense Authorization Act. It passed a couple months ago, and critics say it allows the White House to indefinitely hold U.S. citizens suspected of terrorism without a trial, holding them indefinitely. Your thoughts on that? Is that fair?
Well, it's a very narrow window, and what this is talking about are people, and the law is very clear about this, people that are in the process of plotting or planning with Al-Qaeda a terrorist attack. So you catch somebody, you know, like the bomber on the airplane. The potential. He doesn't get his Miranda rights read. He's treated as a terrorist, which he is. The thing that you have to do to go forward, though, and this is how it's been really throughout history, he goes before a federal judge with a lawyer. The federal judge says, yes, you know, you are a terrorist, you know, it appears you were doing this. Then he goes into the military court system versus the regular court system. which is real important. And I don't believe that as we catch terrorists, you run up and read them their Miranda rights.
Okay, and let them go. It needs to be resolved.
It needs to be into the military tribunal, which is set up to handle those cases.
Okay, we have run out of time. You know, we could sit here and talk all day.
No, well.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good seeing you again.
Appreciate it.